Cynthia, it's great to have you
Hi,
here.
Lynn. Yes, I'm glad to be here. And thank you. If it's Victoria watching, thank you for joining us.
So everyone, I just want to introduce Cynthia. Cynthia works with professionals to speak with a powerful voice that establishes them as an authority. And I think this is a really great topic, especially as more and more of us are, going out on our own and doing more broadcasting live, sharing things on live streams, speaking more in front of people. And I think there's a lot of us who want to do more and more of that, but we're just afraid that our voice isn't quote unquote good enough. So tell us a little bit about how you got interested in helping people find their powerful voice. I'm so curious.
Okay, sure. Yeah. So it was because before I started my own business about 9 years ago, I was doing in-house training for our own employees. And so one of the topics was leadership. And so when you develop a leadership voice, they want to sound like a leader. So a lot of participants were asking me, they said, oh, how do we develop a voice? And because I developed my own voice through different ways. So for example, one of the ways was because since young, I was performing in singing. I
Okay.
developed my, I developed my own voice. And also that I did radio when I was in college. So over the years that I developed my own voice, and so that's why that a lot of participants were asking me about developing their voice. So that's where it got me thinking, oh, looks like that there are people looking for voice. Because even though I was trained in voice, I had never thought about doing voice coaching or training as my profession until that there were people asking me. So that's where I started to plan to get out of the company and doing on my own.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. I think that a lot of people are really benefiting from you. Hi, Gina. It's nice to have you here tonight.
Hi, Gina.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also, yeah, the other thing is people always ask me, they said, oh, you're so lucky that you found your niche. And I said, it's not, I found my niche. One is, I feel that voice found me. And also the other thing is always listen to what people are looking for.
Mm, that's a really good point. So
Yeah.
because you stayed curious and you stayed open and people you actually noticed that people were coming to you and asking you, how do you speak in public? How do you do that?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Stay curious. Want to say hi to Kim. Hey Rex, good to see you. Nice to see you tonight.
Hi, Kim. Yeah, so I couldn't see who is watching, so I'm just going to follow whoever you are calling out.
I can see the comments here. It's really nice to have these people joining us. So you
Okay.
talk a lot about speaking with a full voice, with an authoritative voice. Can you tell me what that means to you?
Okay, so a full voice, to put it simple, it just means that you are going to speak with your voice through the full body. So when we develop the voice, we are developing vibrations. And when we speak with a full voice, we develop full vibration. The full vibration not just coming from the throat, the voice, the vocal cords, but coming from the full body. So when you speak with the full voice, you engage more of your body instead of just coming from here like a talking head. And when you speak with your full body, you become more authentic and you also develop yourself. So you develop yourself to be more confident, more authentic. So to speak with a full voice, to me, it is really a process of developing yourself.
Hmm. Hmm. So it's almost like when you are using your whole body, your whole voice, your whole being, that's when you're more engaging. That's when people are able to really kind of hear you in a different way because they're seeing you, they're feeling you, they're using more of their senses as you're tapping into more and more of your own senses. Is that
Yes.
a correct interpretation?
In a way, yes, because the first level is that voice is very physical. So when we develop the voice, we are developing our body, which is vibration. And then once you develop the body, because we know that the body and mind, they are one. So once you develop the body, once you develop more vibration in your body, your own vibrational frequency is also being developed. You feel more harmonized in your own body. And so once you feel that, the second level is once your body is developed, your mind will also be developed. You feel much more open, much more confident, much more authoritative. So authentic as well. A lot of my clients, once they developed their full voice with full vibration, they said, I don't know why, I just feel good.
So what does that look like? Give us an example of a not full voice and a full voice.
Okay, sure. So for the listeners, this is the voice that is a full voice. And if it's not a full voice, it'll be sounding like this. Can you hear any difference?
You sound like you had helium.
Okay. So the voice becomes thinner. It's more coming from here. The pitch goes higher and it sounds much younger. To not mature, but like a young girl. And also that you're not engaging your full body to speak. And in my classes, sometimes the students will ask, wow, Cynthia, do you often switch on and off? So the answer is, once you develop your full voice, it's like you find your home. You feel so comfortable in the home, which is your full body. And you don't want to leave your home. And you wouldn't be able to, because the full voice is to develop it into a habit. Once it becomes a habit, you won't lose it.
You won't lose it. Yeah, it's practicing that muscle. I often find that, yeah, it's like developing a muscle within us, and that's when we don't forget it anymore, because it's really become trained within us.
Yes.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I think it's a little bit on and off. Not sure whether it's my network or your network. Yeah.
No, don't worry about it. I live in Panama, and we just had a bunch of rain that just came through a moment ago. So I apologize to our listeners if there is any inconsistencies in the volume. So I'm curious, do you have any kind of like tip or exercise that we might be able to do right now that would just take a moment or two?
Yes. Sure, yes. So
That'd
there are
be
two
really
quick
fun.
things that they can do. Yes, one is because they want to know, when we develop a full voice, when we develop your best voice, the best voice does not need effort. It does not need effort. And so when you do that, one of the things that I always ask my clients to do before we go into any other exercises is to make a sigh. So you just sigh, a sigh of relief. So for example, yes. So we take a breath in and then we sigh. Yes.
Okay, everyone,
and also
go ahead and
from
try to
this sigh,
sigh.
yes. Yeah, so we take a breath in and then we breathe out and sigh. So from this, know that number one is when we sigh, we don't use effort. It is just letting go. It's the same for voice projection. Voice projection is letting go. And also voice projection, there's no effort. You are not exerting any effort in your projection. If you do that, you will not be doing it correctly. When you are speaking, it is a process of letting go and a process of relaxation.
Wow, I bet that just helps us in general when we're speaking in public, if we can just let go and relax and speak with that
Yes.
fullness that doesn't cause us the stress and the anxiety.
Yeah.
So give us a tip on that. How do we do that?
So the easy thing is sigh. So the next level is that you sigh with any sound. So for example, the first step is with a sigh. And then the second step is you're just sighing with any word, the word or any sound, like, you see the sound is it is just letting go. We don't do any sound on purpose. We don't do then you're adding effort. It's just a sigh with any sound, like,
Okay.
and also you feel that how relaxed you are, and this is get when you are speaking. It is the feeling, the physical feeling you should get in speaking. The problem for many of my clients is that one is they are holding their breath and speak, then they sound like this one. You see, if I'm holding my breath and speak, this is how I sound. And you feel that you're not open, you are holding something back. And then at the same time, you started to accumulate tension in your body. And then in the end, you don't have much air left. This is how you sound like when there's no more air left.
Right, when you're trying to get that sentence out, forcing it out and not allowing just the natural breath, the relaxation, the fullness of the sentence, like,
Yeah. So from the voice, we can actually see a lot of problems, that not only just voice problems, but also a lot of mental blocks. So this is a very common problem for many of my clients, that they are holding their breath and speak on a daily basis. It's not just when they are nervous. So some of them, this is how they speak on a daily basis.
That is so interesting.
Yes.
That is
so you were saying
really
about two
fascinating.
exercises.
So
Yeah.
go ahead.
So sighing with the sound is one exercise. The other quick exercise they can do is just to hum any tunes. So you can hum your favorite songs. So for example, it's breath in and then you hum like.
So what does humming do for us?
Okay. So humming, one is it started to generate more vibration, very comfortable with more vibration. And then two is humming will also lift up your mood. We don't see depressed people hum.
That's
Yeah. And
I
also
absolutely
it is
love
a
that,
way
that it
to
lifts
warm
our
up the voice. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just humming just makes you smile, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And so that's warming up our voice. It's giving us some
Yes.
dopamine because we're becoming a little bit happier.
Yes.
Great, great. So is this something, are these two tips that you would give your clients if they were going to?
So I think the sound is breaking off, but I kind of figured what question you were asking. So you were asking that were these two exercises that I give my clients before they speak.
Yes.
So these are two simple exercises. Usually they will be going through a step-by-step process. And once they develop the full voice, they go through the process. Before they go on and speak, usually they don't need to do too much exercises.
Oh,
So
because
sigh,
Okay, because
Yes,
they've been working that muscle.
yes, and because also it becomes a habit.
Yes, yes. So tell us a little bit about how you go about working with your clients. How long do you usually work with them for? What does that usually look like?
Okay. Usually they will take about 6 months, a minimum of 6 months to develop their full voice. One is because every step they are working on is to make it a habit. And also that's usually how long it takes that for us to break the old habit and then form the new habit.
Mm, yeah. Okay. And
It,
you want to just share a little bit about like maybe one of your clients who's just had a really great success?
sure, yeah. And so one of my client who is based in Canada, and before he came to me, he said, I'm feeling, I have very low self-esteem because I don't like the sound of my voice. When I record it, I not only it's just because most people, when we record it, most people would not like their voice because it sounds different from the one they hear in their head. So that's most people that they don't like their voice. But for this client, it's not only that he doesn't like his voice, but also that he just feel ashamed by his own voice.
Huh.
So in the process that when we are working on the voice, so he was the one who was saying, I don't know why, I just feel good. Because that when we are working on the voice, we are working on generating more vibration. When you have more vibration, it it changes your own vibrational frequency. So we all have a vibrational frequency. So when he changed his own vibrational frequency in the body physically, that he felt much more harmonized. So that's why he said, I feel good, even though he doesn't know why, but I explained to him. So once he felt good, and when we started to work on the full voice, he continued to recording himself, and that's where he started to like his recorded voice. So many of my clients, once they developed their full voice, they recorded, they liked it. There was also another client of mine. She started to bring her recording to many of her friends. She said, "Now you see, this is a very good voice now." So
Yeah.
that client in Canada, so he not only he started to like his voice, but also he felt and he looks more confident in himself, more confident in being who he is.
You know, that's exactly what I was going to say, Cynthia, is that you're doing much more than just helping people with their voice. You're helping them step into a whole new level of confidence. And this is what we do
Yes.
here on Love Yourself Now. And so I love having this conversation with you. And I absolutely love what you're saying about how, when we are speaking with that full voice, we are tapping into this authentic place within us, and we're building confidence. We're changing the resonation and the vibration within us. I mean, that is really big transformation.
Yes, yes, it is.
I love it. I absolutely love it. What else would you like our viewers to know tonight?
Um, I would say that developing the voice and also developing your full voice, it is a process of, it's a very natural process. So in the process, we don't purposely do anything. So some of my clients, when they came to me, especially male clients, they said, when I want to sound credible and authoritative, I purposely lower my voice so I sound more credible. I said, okay, how long did you last? So one client, he said, lasted 10 to 15 minutes. So that's not only not credible, but also it is the wrong way of developing your voice. So when you develop your full voice, it is a process of, it is a natural process. So you don't need to purposely do anything, but instead that it is like you are planting a seed. So you plant the seed. When we plant the seed to let it grow, we give it water, give it sunshine, give it fertilizer to let it grow. So we don't pull it out to let it grow. And this is the process like developing your voice, that we are watering the body to make the body open and relaxed. And we are giving the body sunshine to let it more easily get the sound, get the vibration in the body. And when you do every step properly, do every step naturally, you will get the full voice. You will get an authentic, authoritative, credible voice that you will like to speak in.
And something that you can actually have a prolonged talk. So if you were giving an hour-long presentation, it's still coming from this authentic place where you're not tiring your body out. Whereas if you're trying to speak in a really low voice, that's going to tire you out. Yeah. Or if you're up here in your head, you're not getting enough oxygen. So breathing and just really feeling into that being, that who we are from that place of reality of us. It's of confidence. I think this is, you've really shared something really important with me tonight. And that is, I never really considered how, how we don't speak from this place of our authentic being. And as I'm sharing confidence building with my clients, the voice is yet another place that we can look to develop our self-worth and our self-confidence.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah, it is.
Love it. Yeah. Cynthia, you have a webinar coming up, I think, don't you?
Yes. So I have a webinar, and this webinar will be from a different perspective. So I am also a passionate learner and teacher on Enneagram. So Enneagram is a profound profiling system. So this webinar I will be doing, so it is not just focusing on the voice. So this webinar I'll be doing on October 31st, the last day in October. And it is about the different voice patterns for the different types of the Enneagram.
That's fascinating. And is that
I think this.
Is that a webinar that's open to the public?
Yes, it is. So this is probably, I would say that this is maybe the world's #1 webinar on voice and Enneagram.
I love it.
I presented the same topic in the International Enneagram Conference early this year, and then it was well received. So after that, I thought, why don't I make it a webinar to have more people listen to it and hear this new perspective and help their own clients help themselves.
That is really interesting, how we can look at the Enneagram and its personality types to a certain extent, right? And how we use our voice within that. That's really interesting. Yes. Now, you also have a YouTube channel, don't you?
Yes, yeah. So I have a YouTube channel where there are more than 130 videos. So each video is about 2 to 3 minutes to teach people a voice technique, so they can check it out.
Yeah, so could you tell our listeners how they can get in touch with you if they might be interested in working with you on their voice, or they might like to hear some of your videos, or even just the best way to get in touch?
Yes. So yeah, I would invite them to watch the videos that I have on YouTube, and they can just go to YouTube and Google my name, Cynthia Zhai, and then they would find my channel.
Great. And could you put it in the link here or in the comments below?
Sure.
So that people will be able to find it easily? I think a lot of people
I will post. Love. Okay, I will put the link and the link to the webinar in the comment.
So before we sign off, I'd love to ask our viewers if anyone has any questions for Cynthia, and just see if we can get a little interaction. I see Lori's watching and Desiree's watching and Jean's watching. A lot of great people here getting this good information.
Yes.
Roseanne's watching. It's been really nice to have you all here with us tonight.
Yes.
So if you have any questions, go ahead and type them right now. I'm just looking at the comments. And if not, go ahead and search out Cynthia on her YouTube channel. I have been listening to videos from her this past week, and let me tell you, there's some really good tips and techniques that she shares with people. Cynthia, it's been a pleasure to have you tonight on my Tuesday Talk, and I really look forward to bringing you back again, and we can dive a little deeper into this really very powerful and interesting topic.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Lynn. And thank you to all the viewers.
Yeah. So please go ahead and put your comments below so that we can get in touch with you. And to everyone watching, it's been, Lori says she just joined late, but she caught about the sighing. Was that helpful, Lori? Give us a thumbs up or a heart if you thought that was a good way to move into being able to speak. Oh, she asked me if we
the perfect time.
So elaborate on that. Well, basically, I'll let Cynthia just give you a quick recap. Could you just recap real quick for Lori about the sighing?
Okay, sure. So the sighing achieves a few purposes. One is that it is helping you to release the tension in the body. And then two is it helps you know that that is how much effort you need when you speak, which is zero effort. Sigh is using zero effort. And three is that is how you should feel when you are speaking, which is no effort and also relaxing and letting go.
Nice summary. Thank you. Was that helpful,
Hope
Lori?
that helps.
Thumbs up. All right, you guys. Well, we are going to wrap this up. I realized that we had been going really long in some of the past videos, and I'm doing my very best to keep this into a half-an-hour format. And I want to just thank Cynthia for being a great first guest to help me hold that format a little bit shorter. And I just really hope everyone's having a beautiful evening. And yeah, Laura, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Go ahead and listen to the replay too, since you joined a little late. Anything you want to say before we say
thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome, Cynthia.
No,
it's my pleasure.
Yeah. I think it's everyone has a great voice inside of them, waiting for them to uncover it.
Thank you, Cynthia. Okay, good night, everyone. Good night, Cynthia. Thank you.
Yes.